Well, it has turned out to be a pretty nice day. It rained all morning, but it's pretty nice out here now. Someone mentioned that I hadn't even shown the RatRod in my videos, so I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do it with my phone. Sometimes I turn the phone this way just to irritate people, but I'll play nice today. Oh, let's see here. This nose that I got is actually wide enough. I had it all apart and had the old front end ripped apart again off of mine inside, and I put this nose on there. And being that this is big truck fenders like the ones I have on the back of the RatRod, the ones I flipped around, they are longer in both ways. They're longer from here to the back and from here to the front than the pickup fenders, so that leaves kind of too much wheel well, and I would have lived with that if it had done something else that I wanted it to do. It's not quite long enough. If that length had been in the front, I would have lived with it, but it just left the tire and wheel too small for the wheel well. And I bought those tires and wheels with the intent of using those smaller pickup fenders on the front, which I have on there now. I have back on there. I rebuilt the whole thing and put it back on because that's what I do. But with this on there, it's wide enough that you don't need that gap. You don't need that 4.5 inches that I have in the other one, because these fenders are also wider than a pickup fender. But I didn't gain the length in the front, in front of the engine, that I was thinking this one might give me. So I'm not going to use this for that. I'm going to probably make a trailer, a little matching trailer out of this to tow behind the Rat. But I'll go ahead and give you a little update on this. I've not worked on it a lot because I did a major cleanup project out behind my shop, and some of you've seen that. But plus two, I've been busy with my business, and some people assume that just because I'm not in the row actually grafting or chainsawing that I'm not working, but that's not the case. I am working. Anytime you own a business, you have to stay on top of it, and I do. I'm, you know, it's constant. I'm getting calls and meeting with clients, and especially this year it's been kind of strange because I have half as much booked already as we did the entire season last year. So I've been on the road looking and booking a lot, and I've not been YouTubing nearly as much. I did film quite a bit of that old GMC, old Jimmy Hoffa, but other than that, I've been kind of busy. So one thing that I did get done on this, like I said, is I rebuilt that front end and kind of changed something and did a little different, and I'll show this to you. I did have a picture of it at the beginning of one of my videos. Nobody mentioned it, so I don't think they noticed what I did with it, but I'll show you here in a second. Air system is complete. I explained before that I built this little temporary panel here just to sort out all my wiring, and I wanted a little setup there that I can just leave for a while because I'm not going to run any wiring yet. I'm going to kind of stop on the body work now. Well, I got the front fenders to mount solid, and then I'm going to kind of quit on the body work, and I'm thinking I want to start plumbing that engine. So I've got this so I can just live with this for a while the way it is, and then that'll all come off of there, and the trunk lid will go on. You might notice here I did wind up using both these air tanks, and I don't know that I need all that volume, but I kind of like being able to pick it up and set it down 2 or 3 times without the compressors kicking on. So I put both those tanks on there for now anyway, and I'll decide, you know, later on if I like that or don't like it, and I may change it all. And that's okay too, because it's all fun. It's just all good, clean fun, folks. And somebody mentioned using copper tubing for fill the fender gap, and I had that on there, and I think it's I did have some copper tubing on it. Matter of fact, that piece is hanging right over there, and that fit up around the fender, but it was just a little too much copper on the front. It would have been okay back here, but, and I've seen chain. I had a piece of chain laying on there, and I really like that, but I've seen chain used quite a lot, and I try to do things that I've never seen done before. Never seen anybody use the rope. I'm going to use little pieces of copper. I'm going to cut some little washers and bend them over. I'll cut them out of the copper and then put a screw through it and hold it in place where I need to with the little copper washers. And I'm going to treat that with something, and it'll eventually probably rot out, but it'll probably last longer than I do. Anyway, let's move on to the front here. Oh, by the way, this is next on the list. This has priority right now. I promised Noah that I would fix his little car that I ran into when we had a little mishap up here, and I was rushing a kid to the hospital to get his head stapled back on. So I told Noah I would fix it, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's kind of next on my list here. We got the front wheels were all bent up, so we got some new wheels for the front, and then we got a little bit bigger ones, these old wheelbarrow wheels, but they're a little bigger to go on the back. I'm going to have to remount the rear fenders, but these bigger ones on the back, that's going to give it a little bit of rake, give it a little attitude, and I just don't want it sitting around broke down any longer. I promised Noah I was going to fix it, so I am going to fix it. That's next. And then after that, between booking jobs, I might get back on the old Dojalac here, or the Ramalac, whatever we're going to call it. But here's what I did on the front. I kind of like that gap, you know, I really do. So I decided to do something a little special with it, and I put that copper back behind the expanded metal. So yes, once again, I ripped it all apart and redid it. So, but that's okay. I've got it the way I want it. And I really kind of got in a hurry when I built the little Rockabilly Rat, and I tend to do that because I just wanted to get it on the road, man. You know, I got to get it going, and so I kind of got in a hurry in a few places. And this one, I am trying to not do that. I don't want to have any regrets when it's done. I don't want to look back and go, oh, I wish I'd have done that a little different, you know. And so I'm trying to take my time, and I don't care if I have to redo something 2 or 3 times. If the end result is to have it the way I really, really want it, then that's okay. But I'm liking the copper. That's going to have a nice green patina a little bit later on. And then I will do the same thing to mirror this copper expanded metal scenario. I will mirror that back there in that gap between the fender and the body, and that'll tie the front and the back, kind of tie them together. And then I may use some of that the same copper and metal in a few other places just to make it all flow. So that's really about all I've done that you have not seen, is that copper and getting this front end back on there. Next step, I'm going to mount the front shocks and then build my fender braces to mount the front fenders solid. The back ones are all done. The running boards are done. They are mounted and got the final supports under them. I still have to trim them off in the front. The tire runs into them right now. But after I get the front shocks mounted and the front fenders mounted, like I said, I think I'm going to stop working on the body and start maybe plumbing this engine. Either that, or I'm going to work on steering and exhaust, which I kind of need to do at the same time so I don't run one into the other. But that's about it, folks. Not a whole lot to update, but I'm going to get back on it Just kind of got busy with work and other projects around here, and just don't have time or the inclination to YouTube all the time. I kind of run in spurts. But I appreciate y'all checking in on me. Got a nice message, private message from one lonely farmer here a couple weeks ago when I'd been AWOL for a little while, and he said, "Hey man, starting to miss you," you know. And so I appreciate people checking in. Had some other folks email also and say, "Well, hope you know you're okay," and all that. And I'm okay. I've just got to stay in business, so take care of my clients. Okay, I think that's about enough said. You know, I'm just running my head and rambling on, and I need to shut up so you guys can get on about your business. Pretty happy with that bumper. Turned out pretty good. And that's the whole goal, you know. I need to be happy with every aspect of it. So I'm going to take my time and try to achieve that goal. See ya. Thanks for watching.